Hi everyone, Ken with Andrea Cans, and I've been busy. I purchased some local carrots from our local market, and I'm going to can some carrots today. And I was getting them all peeled up, and I was down to my last bag to peel, and so I'm going to tell you some of the little gizmos that we have here. And this is our little bow peeler from our favorite store, Dollar General. One of them anyway. I just love these things. So you have to have a peeler. You have to have a decent cutting knife to chop the ends off or split them if they're too wide. I have a cutting board that I purchased at my local Dollar General store. And then I have this wonderful cutting mandolin that I've got set to slice at the right gauge for potatoes or carrots. And this was gifted to me. I don't know, I think she bought it off of a shopping channel, but it works so good.
QVC, I think.
Andrea's aunt purchased for me because I was using mandolin making pickles, and I shaved the tip of my thumb off, and she didn't like that.
No.
And she's seen this, and it's like, when you see this little gizmo in action, it is just the coolest little thing. I don't know what you even call it. I call it a slicing mandolin. But as far as that goes, I'm gonna get you started here. I'm gonna peel these carrots off. I'll clean them up really good, and then we're going to commence to chopping these up, and then we'll hit a pause area. I'll finish all these up, and then I will show you loading, and we're going to do a cold can method. So when I go to the pressure canner, it's going to have cold water in it, measured out, and we'll set our cans in there, and then we'll light it, and then we'll bring it up but I'll tell you more about that here in a second. So right now I'm just going to chop the ends off these carrots. Real quick. And I love the fact that I have a grocery store where you can buy local. And it's nice. And yeah, there's 5 carrots here, but it's about a pound of carrots. Each bag was a pound. So I got 10 bags, so I have almost 10 pounds of carrots to can, which should equivalent to 1 pound per jar, or maybe less. So there's all the ends off, and I just love this little bow peeler. You hold it like you would be whittling a stick out in the yard with old grandpa, which I am, and you just kind of stroke away from yourself, and nobody injures themselves, and it just rolls off in the perfect little peels. With no effort at all, and you don't even hurt your hands. And I don't like hurting my hands or my fingers. So we're going to do these 5 real quick. And we're going to get my favorite toy out, that one right there. And we're going to make some slices. I know some of you people have the ones where they're elongated and you hold your handle to them and you stroke them this way. That's not comfortable. Some of you have the real old school ones that work pretty much the same way, but they don't have the little safety wrap around it. And they're really not as comfortable as this one. This one is so easy. You just stroke it along. So if you're ever thinking about something that you might want to try, yeah, they're not real expensive, but they are jewels, I'm telling you. It's like the perfect peeler.
They were $1 a piece, I think, when you bought them for me.
Yep. And they're sharp. We use these when we're making apple butter I do have a peeler. I believe you've seen it before. But I do need this for doing when we do pears, and because it's just not easy to do a pear.
No.
So we use these. Real quick, that job is just about over. You don't have to take the skins off. These are washed really well. I've seen some of the people use the skins to make their vegetable stock for broth, and they just save those back.
Right.
And I don't. You can feed them to your chickens, but this is my favorite little gadget that was purchased for me. And I do have, there's settings on the back side. You can reset it for any depth, juliennes, depth, different styles, different thicknesses. I believe if I look at the instructions again, somehow or another you can stick potato in there and slap it down one time and you get a bunch of French fries. I haven't tried that yet, but this, I do know it does. You just stick it in there and you just kind of spitting out little slices. And I might need a different device to catch these things, like a little bowl or something instead of my cutting board, but this one,
For demonstration purposes, this works great so everyone can see it.
and then I pushed it sideways. So then I got some long ones here, but they'll can. So let's go backwards, maybe that'll work better. And it's going sideways. Maybe I need more in there. I know doing potatoes in this thing. I love slicing potatoes in this.
We've never tried carrots before.
I've done cucumbers. This is my first time doing carrots in it. I thought this should work probably pretty good, but sometimes then you turn them sideways and then you get long ones. Let's do 2. Not yet. They want to rotate. By the time I get them all done, I'll have it figured out how to load this for doing carrots.
Nice job.
The secret is to start small and go large. And then put the little guy in there. Maybe it won't rotate over. I think that's the secret right there. Start small and go big. So there's 5 carrots sliced up real quick. I'm gonna go through these now that I've found the secret to it. We'll get them all done and we'll get them in the jars, and then we'll, doing the cold pack method, we'll add water and debubble, and I'll show you how to do all that real quick. So for right now, I'll see y'all in a few minutes. I'll be right back.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and I found the right way to operate that fancy dancy little mandolin. You put the wide ends in towards the top, and it worked perfectly. So it made perfect little slices, and I didn't have to spend time chopping them up with a knife. So it worked really well. Miss Andrea was in the kitchen. I got my nice warm sterilized jars. I've got my cup here, and I don't need anything other than my nice clean hands. I'm gonna fill these up to a 1-inch headspace, which is this ring right here. The very first ring on your jar is 1-inch headspace. Then we're gonna fill the water up to 1-inch headspace. Then I'm gonna debubble, and then we'll adjust. And then I will add, after they've all got their water and I've adjusted everything, I will add a 1/4 tablespoon of salt.
I'm just gonna move these over a little bit so people can see what you're doing in the jar. There we go. Now people can see.
So it's a pretty simple process. I'm gonna set that one over there. I love our antiques. As long as they're not busted or no chips or anything. This one looks really good. This one's just a plain Jane Mason. But guess what? It still works. So I'm gonna load a bunch of these up real quick. It don't take long. It don't take long. We're gonna have pints and pints and pints of carrots.
And tell everybody what we use carrots for.
When it's cold outside, we love to make stews. We love to make soups. I love Miss Andrea's chicken pot pie recipe that she uses. Sometimes we just put them in with the roast on the crock pot and with a couple potatoes, and you just have potatoes and carrots together. I like carrots. I like raw carrots. I like cooked carrots. The best carrots in the world come from a ham. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. But I love carrots. Carrots are just a great go-to snack. I love them raw. They're a good vegetable. When I was younger, my mother used to cream some carrots for me. I've lived on vegetables all my life. I love veggies. So that's what we're doing right this second is 1-inch headspace. Follow back through with some water to 1-inch headspace. Once that's done, I'll put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in each one. You don't have to, but we're going to just for.
It's my preference. That's my preference, and no one else's preference.
You do not have to put salt in your carrots. You don't have to put them in your potatoes either, but we do. It's just one of those things. To us, we're kind of old school, and that's an old school way of doing things, but you can absolutely eliminate the salt. You could go even less salt. But if you're gonna go less salt, you might as well just do no salt.
Do you want to talk a little bit, please, for the viewers about pressure canning versus water bath canning with carrots? That might be a good place to start too.
Well, we're gonna cook these into the pressure cooker. And the reason for that is these are raw and a low acid vegetable. I've seen videos out there where they do water bathing. And that's, I don't think, is an approved method. This is an approved method. We're gonna pressure can them. This is going to eliminate all the air. It's going to kill all the bacteria. And it's going to cook them down. And then it's going to push all the air out, and then we're going to sanitize it. So it's going to cook at a higher temperature than what you're going to get water bath canning. So I believe the pressure canning way is the correct way to do it. Just like your beans and everything, you have to pressure can because it's a low acidity. You can water bath your tomatoes because they have a lot of acid.
But tell them what I add to water bathing
We
tomatoes.
add lime juice or lemon juice to them. to increase their acid even more. And you don't have to, but we do it. And you don't notice it. There's not a flavor difference. If there was, I'd let her know. Because if it doesn't taste the way it's supposed to taste, I would let you know. And then I probably wouldn't eat it. And then you have a whole bunch of product downstairs that only one person is going to enjoy, the other person is not going to care. So
There's only so many casseroles I can make a year. Or goulashes, right?
this is true. Wow, I'm gonna get a pretty good yield off of this.
You're getting a good yield. I might have to sterilize some more pints for you,
No,
sweetheart.
I don't think so. We're getting down there. Oh,
Just let it be. I'll go wash it in a minute.
that one's mine.
My old Katie dog would have eaten that carrot.
If she was still here, but yeah. She was gone after we had just started learning the can for our channel. That might be a little tall.
Check the rim on that one, will you please?
On which one?
That one, just check it.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
This is in Orchard Road. This is one of the new ones from last year.
It looks a little frail to me. That's why I asked you to do that. Thank you.
No, that's a brand new. I don't know if anyone else has heard of Orchard Road. They're a new company I've just seen. And so far, they're all right. I've seen other ones I didn't know that wasn't as nice as these that blew up in the pressure canner. And that wasn't because of misfilling or anything. It was just, it wasn't the right kind of jar to have around. But you want to pack these as close to tight as you can get them. And then when I run the debubbler through, I think you might just have done just the perfect amount for pints, Mom.
Thank you.
Miss Andrea has been around and done this a few times or two. I told her I might need 9. Guess what? I'm up to 12. So
With my jellies I made this morning though, I needed more jars. I misestimated that. And sometimes you have more, sometimes you have less. It
it's
just
been
is.
a very busy day here at Miss Andrea Cans. Last night she went berry picking out in the woods with a friend that has
My friend Alex.
a black raspberry patch out in these woods. And somehow Miss Andrea ended upside down inside of a blackberry bush. And he asked her if she needed any help to get out. She said, no, just grab these berries, and started picking berries and threw them back at him. So it was kind of fun. She had fun picking berries last night, and then she made black raspberry jelly, which is redundant. You've seen it. We've got it on our channel.
We have 13 jars this morning.
And we've been working on our chokecherry tree, and I picked some aside for her chokecherry jelly. And you got how many out of that?
Well, I got 7.
7 out of that. So
Excuse me, 6. They're over there on the table behind you, sweetheart.
all right. That's
That was
all
pretty
those.
close.
I'm gonna give you those. Yeah, you was pretty close.
Should we give everybody a break and come back to them a minute? I think that's a good idea, so you can rearrange the carrots and show them what you're gonna do next.
I'm pretty much rearranged.
Okay, you go do what you have to do.
I'm just gonna add water.
Okay, salt and water.
I'm gonna add water first. I don't think I have to change the heights of any of this.
I take
So I
some,
may add my salt because everything is right where it's supposed
Yeah.
to be. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon kosher salt to all of these.
who doesn't like kosher salt?
Shaking them off level. And there again, like I said earlier, you do not have to put any salt into these.
It's my preference though.
If you have a sodium problem, you do not.
And we don't have sodium problems here. I'm low sodium and Ken was just fine. Blood was just tested.
Yes, I just went to the doctor and the doctor said, "You're golden, son." I said, "Thank you very much, ma'am." I have a young female practitioner I've known for years, that she works for the doctor that I've known for years. So I've been associated with him for a long time. So when I get my results back, I get communicated to, so that's a good thing. And then we don't need that no more.
No, sir.
Now I'm gonna add 1 inch water.
Now this is not heated water, you guys. This is
Yes,
just
we're
water.
doing a cold pack. Which means everything's cold, even the water into the pressure canner will be cold. You start everything from ground zero.
Looking good. And why do you add water to jars when you put
Transfer
them?
heat.
Okay, there you go.
It takes up the area that the air is not there no more to transfer heat.
And let me tell you guys, when you pressure can vegetables, it's the best vegetable you'll ever have. It's better than anything you'll ever get out of a store. And this is my preference, actually. What do you need me to do, sweetheart?
Rotate me a little bit so they can see. Hey, hi
Yes.
everyone, I'm back.
There you go.
Sorry I walked off the camera there.
So I have to tell you a story. I lost my tripod. I'm not sure exactly where it is. It might be between the camper or here. And we've had company here for a long time. And we've enjoyed the company. And I lost the tripod. I don't know where the tripod is. I don't know if it's at the camper. But today I went and bought a new tripod. So
Okay. Hi. I'm out of water.
We'll
We're
see
gonna
y'all.
pause it right here and then I'll show you how we're gonna lid these up and then we're gonna pressure can.
talk to you in a few minutes.
I'll be right back. See you later.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Got all the water in. Now it's time to debubble all these little beauties. So we're gonna go through them all, push them around, get them packed down. Nothing should go above that ring line that I was talking about, because there's air trapped inside all these. See how this one just went down? So you just poke your pokey in there, get the little pokey dude in there, and just burp all them air bubbles out and get everything down below that water line, just like that. At 1 inch headspace, and you're on your way. And then we're gonna wipe all these rooms here. And then jar them up, and then we're gonna put them on the fire.
I'm on the fire, Daddy.
We're gonna utilize our outdoor kitchen. Most pressure canners, even ours, you're not supposed to put them on a propane burner. We're going to put them on a propane burner. I've been doing this. I do not recommend that you do this, but I do this. I believe fire is fire. I have our new kitchen set up outside, and it's protected with a wind block in the front of it. So the flame is going to be consistent, just like it would be on a stove. And the only reason I'm doing that is because some of you rural people live in the country, you cook with propane stoves. This is not the same as a stove in your house, but you regulate it the same way. So that's why I'm doing it outside. It's hot here in Illinois. and we've done it quite a few times and not had an issue with the pressure canner, not had an issue with being able to can everything. So now I'm gonna just wipe the rims real quick, feel for nicks. You can use white vinegar, but since there's no real debris or anything from canning the carrots, I'm using a white, wet paper towel with just water, just to make sure everything is clean. I'm feeling the rims. As you've seen her earlier in this video, she thought maybe one might have an issue, so to eye it over. And I eyed it over and it was just fine. A quick wipe and then we're gonna put lids on it. And then we'll pause this video again. And then we'll show you the process of pressure canning. And at the very end, you're gonna see the results of all my labors
Come see.
in my
Oh, hello.
purchase
Did you get up for your nap?
of buying carrots, 10 pounds of carrots for $8. So basically a little less than $1 a pound, which I thought was a great deal. Considering you can go to the grocery store and probably pay $1 a can and get less amount of carrots. And I'm supporting the local farmers in the area. So this is a win-win for me. It's a win-win for Miss Andrea. It's a win-win for everyone. So far everything's feeling pretty good. And like I said, usually we'll use for like doing jellies and stuff like Miss Andrea was doing this morning. She was using white vinegar because you get sticky around the rim and that cleans them really well.
Sometimes I just use hot water depending on how sticky they are.
Either way is approved. You can do it. Excuse me. Now I'm gonna put my lids down and we'll put our rings on and then we're going to the fire.
Going to the fire.
So there we go, separate out here. I do not have an issue. I don't believe you have to soak these to seal. They're gonna get quite hot in the steam in the canner. The composites nowadays, unless you're buying a generic brand, these are balls. We use 4-jar around here. Balls, pure Keurig. Superb is our, if we can get Superb lids, we go with Superb. They are exactly what they say they are. They're superb. I think I have 2 rings there, 2 lids there. I did. Generic ones we will not use.
Nope.
I like that Orchard Road that I got in there. Did not use those lids, but we will use those for vacuum packing. They work fine for that. And maybe Mrs. Andrea Cans can separate those too. But if it's a nice name brand lid, we'll use those. Thank you.
That's a nice yield, Mr. Martin.
Yeah. Making plans for the winter. This will not stop me from doing it if I get a good deal on carrots in the winter time. If they're dull or not, if they're whole carrots, I will purchase more carrots. If I get a decent price on green beans like I did in my last video, I will do green beans. Now I'm going to put these lids on, and I use my thumb and this finger, and I just see how the jar is turning, just to finger tight. The reason for that is that when it's in the pressure can, it's going to loosen that seal the lid is there to hold it in place. That might be a bad ring. Oh, there it goes.
Looks like I've used it a time or two.
Well, there is no such thing as a bad ring, just the ones that don't screw down. They're not, as Lisa Sutton says, they're not wedding bands, anybody. They're there to serve a job. They are a tool. So that's how I know they're finger tight. When I first started canning, I went way too tight. I had lid buckling. We had jars blowing out. And we started watching other canners and learned finger tight is finger tight. Look at that, see, just finger tight. It's gonna let the air out of there. It's gonna purge and let all that air out as it's cooking. So when you get done, you're gonna have a stable product, and the air gap that you see in there is actually a vacuum that you're seeing. You're not seeing actual real air. It's pushed out. You're seeing water, vegetable. Basically, the air gap is a vacuum. Thusly, so when they cool down, you hear the lids go clump. That one don't like me.
I'll come see your mom. Are you okay, my sweetheart? Come here. Can you see Mama?
But yes, finger tight so that the air escapes.
How are you doing?
You're relying on your composite seal to, there we go, to make your food safe. And everything's going on just fine. And this is my last lid. So we're going to pause right here, and then we're going to get the canner set up outdoors, and we're going to pick it back up from there, and I'll explain to you the rest of the process. Talk to you in a couple seconds. Hi everyone, it's Ken. We're back. We're at the outdoor cookery. We have our large pressure canner, and since we're doing pints, and I had 14 pints, which was a great score. We're doing a 2-tier stack, which you can do with pints and you can do it with your half pints. Can't do it with your quarts, unless you have a really big one, but I think this is about as big as you can get. So I have 7 on the bottom, 7 on the top. I've set my water to the recommended height, but you can't see where my fingers, but I've got my water to the recommended height. 7 on the top. There's a little tier sitting right on top of the rest of these cans. I've looked through my spigot. I'm going to call this a spigot. Your steam spout. My plug is here. My lock is working just fine. And my rubber ring is in great condition. So the next thing is that I'm going to place this on there. Then I'm going to lock it into place. And then I'm going to light this bad baby up. And then we're going to let it cook until I get a solid steam stream coming through the spout here. And once that happens, then I'm going to start the regulator. And once the regulator gets to a slow jiggle, I get it set to a slow jiggle, that's when I start my processing time for 25 minutes. So I'm going to get this lit first, and then we're going to go from there.
Can you tell them a little bit about the camp stoves, honey?
Camp stoves?
Yes.
It's just for general campground usages and stuff, but it seems to work really good for outdoors. Regulate my air on it a little bit. No, they're just generally a camping double burner stove that is not really much difference than your stove in your house, except for you have to light this, and it sits outside. So other than that, I really can't explain anything other than they're just an open burner stove, I guess is what you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. And it keeps our house a lot cooler in the summertime rather than cooking indoors. It's doggone near 92 degrees here already on June the 17th, I think it is. Company's gone, but the house is still hot. And so this is how we're going to can right now. And it works really well for us. I will not cook jams and jellies outside. I won't prepare them, but I will bring them out to can them out here. Then take them back inside to
Actually,
cool.
the house is nice and cool, but
Yes.
we don't want to do this.
No, we don't want to do this or open face canning either, or water bath canning either. So it just works well for us.
So, that note, like we said earlier, we're outdoor kitchen. This is the new setup. Took the deck down. The outdoor kitchen be gone. This is the new setup under the gazebo with a nice solid steel roof and a nice beautiful wind block, which I think is going to help us do a lot better as far as fuel consumption with the propane and,
Yes, I think so too.
and
sweetheart.
holding our heat. So I'm going to get this up to a solid steam. I'm going to put the jiggly weight on, and then once I get it balanced, we're going to start our timer. So we'll be right back with you.
Yes, we will. See you later. Bye.
Hi everyone, we've got it heated up. My lid lock is up, and I have a steady stream, and you can't see it, but I can hear it, and I can put this up there, and the water is steaming off of my tongs here. So it's time to put our weighted regulator. For our area, we're required to use the 10-pound system. You don't even have to watch this gauge, because this is basically the same thing as the gauge. So I'm going to place the jiggly on there. Once it becomes a shaker and the weight is dancing a little bit, I'm going to cut this heat down. And I'm going to set it to where it's just doing a slow hula. So once that happens, we'll be back to you and I'll show you that.
Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm back. I've got my little hula dancer over here just barely shaking. And right now it's reading just under 11 pounds, but like I said, you don't have to rely on that gauge anymore. That's your gauge. It's doing its thing. And right now, since we are set, I'm going to set my timer for 25 minutes. And once this goes off, then we're going to take off the heat. So 25 minutes set right there on our little 4 jars timer. And she's timing. And once this is done and they've cooled down, because I have to let this cool down, lid lock down. Once everything is done safe enough, then I'll show you how to open this canner up. So we'll see you in about half an hour. Talk to you later. Bye. Everyone, we're back. The timer just went off. We've had 25 minutes. First thing you got to do is you got to turn your heat off. Second thing you have to do is don't touch this. You do not take that jiggly off because it's done. There's a time process here. This is all pressurized. Everything inside is the same pressure. If I take that jiggly weight off, it's going to release a lot of steam. It's going to cause everything inside those cans to go really rapid boil. And then it's going to overflow, blow up jars, dent lids,
And maybe blow the can
and siphon.
and the pressure canner
So-
off the top,
We're going to be very patient. Once this
which is not one of my virtues.
Once that jiggly, that lid lock, and I deem it probably safe enough, I will remove it and let it vent for 5 more minutes to get that steam out of there, and then we'll pull the lid. So until everything is kosher over here, We'll be right back. I promise you. I don't want to scold myself. I'm allergic to hot water, so I like hot water, but not that hot water. So we'll be right back with you, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, everybody, this is a long process, which is part of your calculations for canning. My pressure lock just came down. I'm going to finally remove my jiggly weight.
We love jiggly weights around here, don't we?
I'm going to take it off. I'm going to place it right there. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. That's going to allow the rest of the steam to come up out of there. In 5 minutes, then I can pop this lid. And I'm going to set it to the side just briefly to let the rest of the steam come out, and then we're going to see what the finished product looks like. So this is not going to take too long, and I'll be right back with you. All right, everyone. 5 minutes of venting is over. I'm going to show you how to open this thing the proper way. It's still hot. I mean, all that stuff is still going to be boiling in there. And when if you don't believe me, when I open it and take them out, you're going to find out. So I'm going to unlock it like that.
And don't be afraid of this, right?
Do not be afraid of it. It's going to be warm. And you're going to lift up and tilt it away from yourself and let that steam out. And you can take your lid off to the side. Outdoor kitchen is nice. I got all kinds of places to put that lid. Now I can take these out using my grabbers. They look good. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm told you they're going to still be boiling. And I'm going to take it out of there.
It's beautiful, sweetheart.
They're boiling. You look hard, you're going to see bubbles rising up in there. That means that they're done. It doesn't mean that they're still cooking. Well, they still are processing,
yep.
But this is all part of the scenario. There's no signs of siphoning on any of these. That one just sealed. They're sealing in the pot as we speak. And they're all bubbling away. The time process consists of not just the cooking time, but for the downtime. You have to let it all take a natural effect. This is just the top layer. There's more down below. And every single one of them, no signs of siphoning. If you was to open that too soon by taking that jiggly weight off, since they're all bubbling and they're all hot, you're giving it a chance of over pressurizing. They're still boiling. It causes them that pressure to take over the fact that you just released a bunch of pressure, which causes great failures. Now I'm going to take the lower level off. I'm going to use drilling tongs and get that second deck out of there. Set it to the side. So far so good. That looks pretty good too. Everybody's happy at the party. Looks like we have 14 pints to put on the shelf.
It's a beautiful jar right there.
This one may have an issue.
Oh, yep. No, put that over to the
So
side.
it's going to go over here.
Yeah. No, that
There
one's not good.
There might have been a siphoning issue. There might be an issue with the jar, the lid.
It's still pretty regardless, but
We
it's
can
not.
still eat that. It's not a big issue. These are looking. I'm going to put the ones. You're going to have failures. Not everything is going to be
Not
perfect.
everything's perfect.
everything is perfect. So genuinely, that will probably, we will go through it. It's had a sticker put on it before. It's probably got a malfunction with it somewhere. And that jar will probably not become an Andrea Cans jar again.
No.
But, like I said, that food is not going to be bad. It's been cooked. It's fine.
You might eat it for dinner tomorrow night.
It might become something that Kim enjoys. Kim enjoys cooked carrots. So it's really not a problem. You're going to have your malfunctions. Hey, 1 out of 14. This was going to be just fine. You're going to have your failures. It's not because of you, and it's not because of the process. You're just going to have failures. If you take your time, you can do this. It's not a big deal. Did that one siphon out? No. I can see that it's perfectly at the right height. There's just an issue there. It just could be in the jar. Usually if it's in the jar, there's a siphoning issue, but it's more than likely in the ring itself. Not the ring holding it, but the ring seal on the inside.
Yep.
So manufacturers can't get it perfect all the time either.
Nor do we.
So I hope you've enjoyed this. I've got 13 out of 14, and tomorrow, guess what? I'm going to eat some carrots because that's going to go in the refrigerator once it cools down to where we can handle it. So it's not a big loss. I've got cooked carrots to eat, and maybe I might get a pot pie or something out of it. Who knows what we're going to have? Maybe I'll have a steak with carrots on the side. Sounds good to me too. Not a big issue. This is Cam with Andrea Cans, and Miss Andrea Cans,
hello,
is running the camera today. So she's been busy. She's been doing jellies.
Since 5 o'clock this morning.
We did not do a redundancy of things that she's already done, which you've already seen: black raspberries jelly and choke cherry jelly, which is what she did today. But thankful to have it back on the shelf again. So this is Kim with Andrea Cans. We'll see you all later. I hope you have a nice day and you enjoy the rest of your canning season. Bye.
See you all later. Bye.